Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Present.
Present. Counsel Cahill? Present. Counsel Capano?
Present.
Present. Counsel Chakutis? Absent. Counsel Calucci?
Present.
Present. Counsel Seer?
Present.
Present. Counsel LaPierre?
Present.
Present. Counsel Lozey?
Present.
Present. Counsel Net?
Present.
Present. Counsel Trahan?
Present.
Present. Counsel Walsh?
Present. I'd just like to put in the minutes that Councilor Jacutis is at another meeting and she's on her way here. All rise for a moment of silence, please. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a public hearing, an act amending the act establishing a Department of Inspectional Services in the City of Lynn.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the council?
Motion to approve.
Motion made to approve, seconded. Discussion. Council Barton? I'd like to make
Counselor
an amendment. Thank you. An amendment, and I'd like the city clerk to read the language. This is a motion to substitute this language, and I request the city clerk to read it into the record. This was sent to us from the Senate and the House Counsel, I believe. Trying to make sure that this is done the way it's supposed to be. So if the Madam Clerk would read this in.
Okay. Section 1, Paragraph 2 of subsection D of Section 5 of Chapter 378 of the Acts of 2014 is hereby amended by striking out the fourth sentence. Section 2, Paragraph 3 of said subsection D. Oh. Okay. Let me just preface that with this. The City Council and the Mayor are hereby authorized to approve amendments which shall be within the scope of the general public objectives of this petition in the event that any changes are not clerical or editorial in nature. Section 1, Paragraph 2 of subsection D of Section 5 of Chapter 378 of the Acts of 2014 is hereby amended by striking out the fourth sentence. Section 2, Paragraph 3 of said subsection D of said Section 5 of said Chapter 378 is hereby amended by inserting after the word facilities in line 2 the following words, except school buildings. Section 3, said Paragraph 3 of subsection D of said Section 5 of said Chapter 378 is hereby further amended by adding the following sentence. The facility division shall be responsible for extraordinary maintenance and capital repairs for school buildings. Section 4, said subsection D of said Section 5 of said Chapter 378 is hereby further amended by inserting after Paragraph 3 the following paragraph, 3 1/4. The school department in the City of Lynn shall be responsible for the custodial, ordinary maintenance, and ground services for the school buildings in the city. There shall be a supervisor of school custodial, maintenance, and ground services in the school department who shall oversee the custodians and maintenance personnel assigned to public school buildings. The supervisor shall be appointed by the superintendent of schools and may be removed for cause, provided, however, that the supervisor shall be provided written notice of the intent to remove, including a statement of the reason for the removal, and the supervisor may contest such removal at a public hearing. The supervisor shall be a public employee under Chapter 150E of the General Laws. The supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services may be an existing employee of the City of Lynn, provided that the employee may hold the position of supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services and another municipal position simultaneously. If the superintendent appoints an existing employee of the city as supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services, the school committee shall establish additional compensation for the employee, provided, however, that the compensation shall not be less than an amount equal to $15,000 more than the base wage of the employee. In establishing the additional compensation, the school department shall consider the employee's additional duties related to reporting to the school department. The supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services shall be preferred to have as minimum qualifications a Bachelor of Science degree in facility management, architecture, or engineering, or 5 years of similar experience in municipal facility management. There shall be 2 assistant supervisors of school custodial maintenance and ground services in the school department who shall report to the supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services, and shall assist the supervisor in overseeing the custodial and maintenance personnel assigned to public school buildings. The 2 assistant supervisors of custodians and maintenance employed by the Inspectional Services Department on the effective date of this act shall be transferred to the school department as an assistant supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services at their existing compensation, with no loss of pay or benefits during their tenure. An assistant supervisor of school custodial maintenance and ground services hired after the effective date of this act shall be appointed by the superintendent of the schools and may be removed for cause, provided, however, that the assistant supervisor shall be provided written notice of the intent to remove, including a statement of the reason for the removal, and the assistant supervisor may contest such removal at a public hearing. The assistant supervisor shall be a public employee under Chapter 150E of the general laws. A hiring committee shall be responsible for the hiring of custodians and maintenance personnel assigned to public school buildings by a majority approval. The hiring committee shall be composed of the superintendent of schools, the mayor of the City of Lynn, or a designee, a member of the school committee who is elected by the school committee, the chief of the Department of Inspectional Services, and the director of Buildings and Grounds. The hiring committee shall give preference in hiring to a current or former employee of the City of Lynn over a person who is not a current or former employee of the city. And finally, Section 5. Nothing in this act shall affect an existing collective bargaining agreement or the civil service status or seniority rights of an employee of the Department of Inspectional Services.
Motion made on the amendment. Is there a second? Seconded. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Cahill?
It's absent.
Absent. Counsel Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Jacutis? Absent. Counsel Calucci, oh, I'm sorry, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Jacutis?
I'm here.
Counsel Jacutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey? Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. 10 yes.
On the home rule petition, motion's been made, seconded. Roll call.
Okay. Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Cahill? Absent. Counsel Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Jacutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes.
Is there an emergency?
Yeah.
Motion made for emergency, seconded. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Cahill absent. Counsel Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Jacutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries with the amendment and an emergency. Communications from the mayor.
Okay. Communication from the mayor regarding the meals tax order Dear Councilors, I am respectfully vetoing the above referenced order regarding the imposition of a local option meals tax in the city of Lynn. I am well aware that the city is currently facing a structural deficit in the budget. The council leadership and I are working diligently to put together a package of measures that will close this deficit at minimum cost to taxpayers and with an aim to preserve the jobs of all people currently employed by the city. However, I cannot support the creation of a meals tax as one of the remedies to the deficit. Less than 2 months ago, the citizens of Lynn soundly rejected a tax increase as a way of funding 2 new middle schools. I do not believe that we should ignore the expressed will of our citizens and impose another tax at this time. Very truly yours, Judy Flanagan Kennedy, Mayor, City of Lynn.
Councilor Capano.
I'd like to make a motion to override the
Second.
mayor's veto of the meals tax.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey?
No.
Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
10 yes.
Council
Motion
President.
over. Councilor Trahan.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I'd just like to speak briefly on that. Everybody keeps saying that it's a tax just on the Lynn people, but it really isn't. When you go out and you go downtown or you go to a concert, there's a lot of people from out of town. There's going to be a lot of people paying this tax, not just the Lynn people. So I just wanted to make, I've heard a few people talking around town. I just wanted to say that, there is a lot of people that it's not just Lynn people. It's going to be from everywhere. So when we have the concerts and stuff, so it's going to take a little bit of a burden off everybody.
Thank you, Councilor Trahan. Councilor Cahill.
Mr. President, procedurally, I'd make a motion to reconsider procedurally.
Reconsider procedurally. Motion made to reconsider.
Motion made and seconded.
Seconded by Councilor LaPierre or Councilor Calucci. Councilor Cahill.
On discussion, thank you very much, Mr. President. And we do so procedurally, obviously, to make sure that this goes into effect at a certain date to ensure that we capture as much revenue as we can. Again, as we stated at the last debate on this issue, this is a tax that every Lynn resident pays the moment they leave the confines of the city of Lynn. It's a nominal tax. It's 0.75%, which means on a $100 tab at a restaurant, you pay 75 cents. What we are seeing, though, are increases in fees, which is a nice little game, a shell game. As we are entertaining a veto override of a tax, per se, there are boards in the city that are recommending massive increases in fees, which is a nice little way of saying, well, it's not a tax, it's a fee. But when you start increasing such things as parking receipts and parking monthly passes, which my hat's off to Councilor Diana Chakutis for being at the Off-Street Parking Commission meeting earlier today, where massive fee increases will be thrust upon our residents of the city of Lynn, but it were not for her leadership. Maybe that would have gone through today, but they tabled the issue, as I understand, because it's concerned. So a fee and a tax are the same thing. We're not going to fee our way out of it. You cannot increase parking fees by 1,000% and get us out of the financial issue that we're in. And by the way, the letter itself and the communications of the mayor says, I am well aware of the city is currently facing a structural deficit in the budget. The recommendation for the meals tax came from the independent study paid for by the Baker administration for us to help ourselves. Two issues, big two issues. One, we need new revenues, which is what the meals tax is, and two, healthcare insurance issues, and new growth. And we're addressing these issues here. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? We're millions of dollars in deficit. This is but a portion of this. We have 7 murders in Lynn this year. 7. That's more than Springfield, all right? We are facing some real issues here. This isn't a game. This isn't a political game and a political game. The citizens of Lynn deserve better. The citizens of Lynn deserve proper public safety and education, because that's what we live here for. If we don't want that, then we will leave, because that's what happens. You get to vote with your feet in this country. But we're trying to give people a reason to stay here. And again, I pay this tax everywhere I go. except for Lynn. So it's a no-brainer. The state's independent auditors, consultants agreed it was a no-brainer. We're like the last city in Essex County to implement it, but yet we're faced with a veto. It's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. You know, we don't run the city. We work with someone who runs the city. And this is a no-brainer. Everyone seems to think it's a no-brainer. For us to override a veto on this is ridiculous. But here we are. Again, I hope people see this for what it is. I think they do. So I'm proud to stand with all of my counselors here and independent people who think this is a great idea, who know this is a good idea, and to make sure that folks that come to the city of Lynn pay their fair share, and when we order other communities, we pay their fair share. That's fine. I rarely ramble, but I'm so upset about this. I'm actually caught off guard. So I'm proud to override this veto. It's a ridiculous veto.
Case in point, Mr. President,
Councilor Calucci.
I go to McDonald's on Linway now and then, I get an Egg McMuffin and a medium black iced coffee, it's $5.20.
And a cup of soup.
No, I was at Home Depot, in Salem, I got an Egg McMuffin and a medium black iced coffee, it's $5.23. Case in point, 3 cents more.
Watching his pennies, Councilor Calucci.
All right.
Councilor LaPierre.
Thank you, Mr. President. I echo my colleagues' sentiment. I wanted to run down a laundry list of communities that have adopted the sort of very relatively small local meals tax option. Since its inception in 2009, when Governor Patrick introduced this as a way to take some of the pressures off of municipal budgets in tight constraints like we find ourselves in now with this looming deficit, well, millions and millions of dollars in the Commonwealth are going into cities and towns all around us. Here's just a snapshot of such. For the year, Danvers, over $500,000, $540,000. Our neighbors in Salem, $560,000 they put back into their roads and police and fire and education. Peabody, $865,000. Almost $1 million. Saugus next door, $760,000. Revere down the street, $375,000. Beverly, just north of us, $477,000. Gloucester, $379,000. Haverhill, over $500,000. Lawrence, one of the poorest communities in the Commonwealth. Lawrence, $340,000. Lowell, $691,000. Chelsea, $260,000, another poor community. Goes on and on and on. $60 million, Mr. President, statewide, have been going back into the cities and towns of this Commonwealth. And I'm tired of these games where a few cents on a cup of coffee or 8 cents on a chicken finger dinner down the street. And I don't like the fact that she is citing a citywide school referendum. Hundreds of dollars on the tax base would have increased for years on end. We'd have to have thousands of steak dinners to get to that amount on this tax. I'm upset at this. I'm upset that this has to be a vote that I proudly take with my colleagues here in an election year. I don't want to be sitting here voting for taxes, as you said last meeting, Mr. President. This is a necessity. We're not fooling around here. This budget gap is enormous. CFO Peter Karen recommended this months ago, as has the colleagues from Philadelphia, who came in, did a grandiose presentation before all of us, and recommended this as a small item of consideration that the mayor and this body take up. Well, now we're taking it up, and we're taking the heat out there, and she overrides it. Why? Because it's good for the city. We go anywhere else and we pay this, and we don't even notice it, folks. So for that reason and that reason alone, for my son's education, for adequate police protection, which we sorely need, and our streets and roads that are in such disrepair, I am tired of putting in potholes with my ward councilor colleagues and trying to submit and text streets to be paved to the DPW and getting the same answer constantly, that there's no money for it, that there's no resources, that everyone get in line, you're on the list. The list stops here, the buck stops here. Let's get $800,000 into this city this fiscal year, beginning on July 1. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counselor. Boy, I wouldn't want to be getting in trouble in your house, I'll tell you that.
He supports the meal tax, Mr. President.
That's why his son's such a good boy.
Anybody else want to speak?
Can't top that.
All right, so, roll call.
Going to vote.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Consideration first.
We have a motion for reconsideration by,
We already voted, right?
Motion for reconsideration by Counselor Cahill, seconded by Counselor Calucci.
Counselor Barton.
No.
No. Counselor Cahill.
No.
No. Counselor Capano.
No.
No. Counselor Chakutis. No. Counselor Calucci.
No.
No. Counselor Seer.
No.
No. Counselor LaPierre.
No.
No. Counselor Lozey.
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Net.
No.
No. Counselor Trahant.
No.
No. Counselor Walsh.
No.
No.
Could have just hung with us one time there, brother. So the motion does not carry for a reconsideration. First vote stands.
Okay.
Is there any other business?
I got one. Motion to adjourn.
Motion made to adjourn. All those in favor?
I brought it tonight, huh?